just a little bit of an anatomy overview for you guys, is that we do have these deep neck muscles. Or let me just do this. We do have these deep neck muscles called the longus colli. And a lot of people don't even know that they exist. We have an experience of these big, thick, ropey muscles, okay? And they're important. Those are the biggest neck flexor muscles that we have. Those are called the sternocleidomastoid. And then at the back of the neck here, we've got quite a few neck muscles as well. So we've got the upper part of our erector spinae, which are those major ropey muscles that go all the way down the back. We've got other muscles that connect to the top of the scapula here, called the levator scapula, okay? And then we've got other muscles there called the upper trapezius. And oftentimes, all of those muscles get very shortened, so they could be very tight. They may or may not be strong, but oftentimes they get very dominant. So we look at finding a balance with that. Behind the throat and in front of the spine is a muscle called the longus colli, and it is our deep neck flexor. So, you know, in Pilates, we oftentimes talk about our core muscles. We talk about the pelvic floor, part of our core. We talk about the diaphragm for breathing, part of our core. We talk about our deep abdominal muscles, the TA, part of our core. Guys, this is part of our core. So if we don't know how to engage those deep neck muscles, and it's very subtle and refined, a lot of clients just immediately go into bracing or into bracing. So even though it might seem like a very finicky thing to teach, it's actually quite an important thing to teach, is how to activate the longus colli. And that's one of the things that we're going to do today as well. Okay, cool. So give yourself a little bit of space. All you're going to need is either a cushion or a ball that you might need underneath your head. You're not going to need any kind of TheraBand or weights today. We're going to use those next week. And I want you to please come up into a standing position. And you're just going to stand with your feet slightly separated. Let your arms just relax and settle beside you for a moment. And then just make a note of bringing your eye line towards the horizon so that we're not looking down to the floor. Eye line to the horizon, and then take a moment to just close your eyes and start to connect into your body. And as we stand here, just for a moment, start to notice how you are standing on your right and left feet. Just letting your feet ground you for a moment. And as your feet hold you on the earth, bring your awareness up to the crown of your head and imagine that your head is floating up towards the heavens. And as your head floats you upwards in opposition from your feet, perhaps you can allow the rest of your body to float in space. Allow this to be as effortless as possible. Take a moment to let your eyes melt backwards into your head. And then bring a moment of awareness to your neck and your shoulders. And just notice how they feel today. How do they feel physically, and how do they feel energetically? And taking a moment of appreciation for your right shoulder and your left shoulder, and for all the movements they allow you to do and all the support that they offer you. And just taking 5 conscious breaths in and out. And every time you inhale, feeling your lungs inflate and give your heart a little hug. And every time you exhale, feeling the air escape from your lungs and feeling the space around your heart. Conscious breaths in and out. Feeling that soft ripple through your ribs and your thoracic spine. Feeling the gentle movement of your scapula and your shoulders and your arms as you breathe. We're going to take just one more deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh. And then just start to blink your eyes open. And you're going to lift your shoulders up towards your ears, almost as if you're saying, I don't know. Feel the lift of the shoulder joints, and then slowly allow the shoulders to release down. And we're going to do that again. We're going to breathe in, and as your shoulders come up, can you feel how your scapula ride up as well? And exhale, down come the shoulder joints, and down come the scapula. And we do that again. Breathing in. Can you feel how your ribs expand laterally? And exhale. So all these movements are connected. Taking 2 more. Breathing in. Shoulders, scapula, ribs. And exhale. Taking 1 more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. So that is called elevation of the scapula. And then when they come down, it is depression of the scapula. Now stay there, taking your left hand, placing it onto the side of the hip. And just allow the right arm to come forward. First of all, just in line with the shoulder. And then start to continue the movement of your arm upwards. And I want you to stop when you feel that your shoulder hunches up like this. So it doesn't matter if you're higher or lower than I am, feel it. And then bring your hand back in line with your shoulder, and then just let the arm come down. Now, turn your palm to face forward and bring your hand out to the side. And again, just in line with the shoulder. And then start bringing the arm up overhead, and you are going to stop when you feel that you lift the shoulder like this. And then bringing your arm out to the side and back towards your hip. Let the palm of your hand turn in and to the front again. This is called flexion of the shoulder. Hold it there. Can you feel that your scapula is still sitting on the back of your rib cage? Now, as your arm comes up, can you visualize that your shoulder blade swings down and comes a little bit around to the side of the ribs here? And then when your arm comes down again, it starts to glide on the back of your ribs. And then as your arm comes down, it's staying put on the back of the body. Turn your palm forward. As we take the arm to the side, this is called abduction. And to about this point, the scapula stays still. And then as your arm comes up, can you visualize again the scapula swinging out and gliding wide? And then bringing your arm out. There's the scapula going back to place. And then your arm comes back in. Palm faces you. Let's do that 1 more time. Flexion of the shoulder. And when you bring the arm up, if your shoulders are tight, you know what helps? Take your arm a little wider. There's no rule that says it's going to be right next to your face. Figure it out. Where does it feel good for you? And then bringing the arm down. This is called extension of the shoulder. Turn your palm forward. Abduction of the shoulder. Notice the point where your scapula glides with you. And then open the arm. This is adduction of the scapula. And just allow it to settle back in. Putting your right hand onto the shelf of your pelvis, left arm comes down. Flexion of the shoulder. Pause for a moment, just at shoulder height. And then continue taking the arm up. And it might be a very different sensation here, guys. Where is your arm on this side? Bringing your arm forward. This is extension of the shoulder as we bring the arm all the way down. Turn the palm of your hand forward, bringing the arm to the side, abduction. And then at what point as your arm continues traveling up, does your scapula start to glide? Bringing the arm out. This is adduction of the scapula and bringing it down beside you. Palm faces towards you, flexion of the shoulder. And listen, for you and your clients, if it helps you to close your eyes in order to feel what's happening, or if it helps you to stand with your back against a wall, then do so. Bring your arm down and beside you, turn the palm forward, abduction. And this is called a scapular glenohumeral glide. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but this is a natural rhythm. Let's do one more time, flexion, extension. There's a natural rhythm that should be taking place when we move the humerus inside the socket, that the scapula should be moving with you at appropriate times. One more time, abduction, adduction. And if it doesn't move appropriately, guess what? We end up taking strain around the neck. And then bringing the arm all the way down and just allowing it to relax. So from here, do you guys remember the dawn realignment? So I'm going to turn so you can see what we're doing. You're going to take your 3 fingers. Now guys, keep it gentle. You don't want to feel like you're actually doing a chiropractic adjustment on yourself. This is very, very gentle. So placing your fingers just down at the bottom of your neck, you'll feel there's quite a lumpy vertebra there. Separate your hands so that your fingers are on either side of the neck. And let's start with a little bit of a shaking of the head. No, 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 no. Start to slide your fingers up your spine towards the base of your skull. No, 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 no. And then release. We're going to do 3 more. And no, 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 no. So one of the reasons that this actually works is that the cervical vertebrae are actually very shallow. And 2 more times. So you know what? They're quite easy to kind of knock out of place. But the beauty of it is that they're quite easy to also adjust into place, which is what we're doing. 1 more time. And we go. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Gentle all the way up. And relax. So now what we're going to do are scapular protraction and retraction against the wall. Guys, remember last week we did this one where we're just squeezing the scapula together and then reaching forward. Now I want you to find a space against a wall or a cupboard where you can stand with your hands against the wall as if you're about to do a push-up. So make sure that your wrists are in a comfortable place. You can move your hands up or down or wide. Make sure that you're standing evenly on your 2 feet and try to keep the elbows as straight as possible, okay? You're gonna keep the elbows stable and start allowing your chest to come a little bit forward towards the wall. So can you feel the scapula are retracting behind you? And then push your hands into the wall as if you're going to push yourself away. And as you push away, can you feel the scapula glide wide? And again, retraction of the scapula. Try not to bend the elbows. Try to keep your spine and your elbows nice and straight. And allow this movement to literally just come from the scapula on the rib cage. Now guys, keep it going. So the movement is the push away and then the release in. If your wrists don't like this, just go into your fist. It's no big deal. You can go into your fist very nicely. And we're just going to do a few more here. Protraction and retraction. And then settle yourself in the center and take a moment to close your eyes. And just visualize and feel how your scapula are hugging the curve of your rib cage. Let them settle, taking one more breath in and out. And then open your eyes, step back, and let's give the wrists a little bit of a shake. All right, now I want you to hook your hands behind your back. So literally you're just gonna make a gentle fist and move your hands to the right side of your body. Okay, so I'm doing mirror image for you. And you might already feel that this is a whopper of a stretch for you, okay? We have internal rotation at the shoulder, and then plus we are adducting and drawing across. So it gets into the rotator cuff for a lot of people. So now the hands are on the right side, and you're feeling the stretch on the left shoulder. If you would like to increase this, start with a gentle tilt of your head to the right, and a little release. And again, a little bit of a tilt, and a little release. If this feels too strong or too neural, then either just make it very, very small, or don't even worry to do it. Just a gentle tilt, and release, and taking two more. Don't force it. Just allow your body to find its resistance. This is a little bit of fascial release. And then bring your head back up to the center. Now turn and look over the right shoulder. And a little release. Look over the right shoulder. Little release. Two more. And release. One more time. And release. And now just let your hands come down and take your time as you move your fists over to the left hip. You're just going to stay here for a moment. Let your body settle. And then just notice, first of all, how does the side feel in comparison to the left side? You can stay here, or you can add a little bit of lateral flexion of the cervical spine. So what we're doing here, by just tilting the head to the side, is starting to release those major neck muscles. We've got the ropey muscle at the front here, the sternocleidomastoid, and then at the back, we've got the erector spinae, the upper end of it, which is called the splenius capitis. And we also have upper trapezius and levator scapula. So we're starting to release those major neck muscles. And then if you'd like to try a little rotation and release. And always connecting your movement to your breath. I think a pretty good rule, guys, is that if you can't breathe, you've probably gone too far, right? One more time. And release. And then just let your hands come down to the center and separate your hands and let them settle. And then just pause again for a moment. You guys know I'm a big believer in stopping, observing, feeling, integrating. We like to rush from one movement to the next, but just notice for a moment if that worked for you. Did it feel good for your body, and did it release anything? And then you can open your eyes if they are closed. I'm just going to step back a little bit so that you guys can see me. Taking your right hand, soften the knees. You're going to reach that right arm all the way up. That's that abduction of the shoulder. And then start leaning your spine over towards the left. And come back up. And let that arm come all the way down. Bringing the left arm up overhead. And then leaning to the right, lateral flexion of the spine. And come back to the center and floating the arm down. Now just keep going at your own pace. Doesn't matter if you go faster or slower than me, if you make this bigger or smaller than me. What we're doing here is mobilizing through the lateral, the side lines of the body. And part of those side lines are going to be all of these muscles, superficial and internal, around the rib cage. And this is directly related to our shoulder girdle. So these are the intercostal muscles that line the ribs and help us breathe. It's also the diaphragm, which connects all the way around the ribs into our lower back, that also helps us breathe. It's also the serratus anterior, which wraps around the side of the ribs. And then it's also the obliques muscles. So all of these are going to have an effect on what's happening with our shoulder girdle and our ability to be able to move the arm overhead. So we're just going to do 2 more. So if somebody is rigid and stuck through the thoracic spine, they're going to have to compensate somewhere. And oftentimes they compensate with the shoulders, or they compensate with the neck or with the lower back. And we're going to come all the way back to the center and relax there. Okay, so you guys remember the rotator cuff movement we practiced the other day. Bend your elbows so you're holding 2 soup bowls with the palms facing up. And I want you to just let your elbows come a little bit away from your ribs so that you don't feel like you're crunching in here. Feel that your heart is open and lifted. Start by bringing your baby fingers towards each other. And then pull your thumbs open and away. That's external rotation of the shoulder. Now guys, we're going to do a little add-on. I want you to lift your heart and look up a little bit towards the corner of the room. And can you feel how your spine is arching? And then bring your eye line and your chest down. And then bring the baby fingers together. Okay, let's do that again. External rotation of the shoulder. Lift your heart. It is an extension of the spine. Can you feel your scapula squeezing together? And then release and bringing the baby fingers together. So now we're tying scapular movement to our spinal movement. External rotation, there's no scapular or spinal movement there. That's purely shoulder, rotator cuff. Now lift your heart, extending your spine, and can you feel that the scapula retract? Release your spine and bringing the baby fingers together. We're going to do 1 more time. Draw the hands away from each other, external shoulder rotation, nothing else moves. Lift your breastbone, open up across the chest, feel the retraction, the gentle squeeze of the scapula, and then release, and then bringing the baby fingers together and letting your arms come all the way down. Take a moment to just roll the shoulders back and around for a moment. So come and give yourself a little bit of space where you can walk down forward onto your mat. So I'm standing to the back end of the mat. And I want you to take a breath in, grow a little bit taller. On your breath out, just look towards your feet. And we're just going to do a little bit of a roll forward. Just roll down until your hands are just above your knees and stay there. You have rounded your thoracic spine. And can you feel that the scapula are gliding wide? They're protracting. So as soon as we round our upper back, there's a natural widening, a protraction of the scapula that happens. Now start to continue rolling all the way forward. And just always feel that you're melting forward. Bend your knees enough that you can put your fingertips to the ground, and then walk yourself down onto all fours and get your wrists into a happy place. Guys, remember you can work on your fists. If you're working on your fists, you put the pressure between the first and the second knuckle, because that is the weight-bearing part of the forearm and the wrist. Tuck your toes under, and on Tuesday, we did a weight-bearing exercise without lifting the knees. Now we're going to try and lift the knees. Lengthen the spine, take a breath in. Exhale, start pushing hands and pushing feet into the mat. And if you can hover your knees, bring your knees up off the ground. In this position, we are trying to maintain our spine, our rib cage, and our shoulder girdle as neutral as possible. Some people like to over round the spine and protract the scapula. Other people drop the chest through and they retract the scapula. So see if you can find that placement of the scapula on the back of your body. Taking one more breath in and out. And then exhale, release down and relaxing the feet. Let's go into a little bit of a cat stretch, just to create some mobility through the spine. And just like we did on Tuesday, I personally find that this cat stretch is one of the best ways to be able to incorporate or to bring people's awareness to how the scapula connects into the movement of the rib cage and the spine. So you can talk about the articulation of the spine, you can talk about pelvic floor, transverse abdominis, you can talk about the connection to breath, but you can also start to bring awareness to what the scapula are doing. So just taking a moment to notice it for yourself. And we're going to take one more round, rolling your spine up towards the sky. Stay here, open the knees a little bit, bring the big toes together, and then sit back, give yourself any supports and props that you need, and allow your forehead to come all the way down. So again, if you need to rest your head on a cushion, please feel free to do so. And what I'd like you to try in this resting position here is to get your elbows as straight as they can go. So some people feel quite a strong stretch in the front of their shoulder with their elbows bent and resting on the floor. And if that's where you are, then stay there, that's fine. If you can, walk your hands forward and straighten the elbows completely, you're going to find it gives you quite an amazing stretch along the front arm line. And then wherever you are, elbows straight or bent, see if you can start gently rolling the spine, twisting the spine gently from side to side so that your shoulders, one comes a little lower to the floor and then the other one comes a little lower to the floor. And effectively what this is doing is helping to release a huge muscle on the back called the latissimus dorsi. And guys, latissimus dorsi in Latin literally means widest back muscle. It has this massive attachment over the back, and then you know where it connects? To the front of the arm here in this tiny little attachment point. So even though this is mobilizing the back and the lats, it's connected to the arm line. So let's just do a few more rolling from side to side. And then come back to the center, relax the arms, and then pushing into the hands, draw yourself all the way up onto all fours once again. And guys, we're going to lie on our stomachs. So just bring yourself down onto your stomachs in the safest way that feels good for you, if you've got any injuries. And we're going to start to incorporate some back extension. So the cobra is probably the most common back extension that we include in our classes. So we're going to do some modifications today that work for your clients, hopefully, and work for you. So the first thing is, I want you to put your legs in a position where your lower back feels happy. So I like to have my legs about hip distance. If you want them wider or if you want them together, do it. If you want any kind of padding under the pelvis, do that as well. I want you to start off with your elbows bent, hands on the floor, close to your body. Tuck yourself in nice and tight. And then I just want you to hover the tip of your nose and stay there for a moment, spreading your fingers out gently. And imagine that you are sending your breastbone forward away from the heels of your feet. And that's going to help you engage some deep back muscles. Make sure that your bum cheeks are firm to help you support. And I want you to stay here and close your eyes. And notice the position of your hands and arms. How does it feel? Does it feel secure? Does it feel tight? Does it feel constricted? So just notice if it feels good for you or if you're going to choose another place. And then you can keep your eyes closed if you wish. Start to take your arms a little wider. So move your arms out slightly. And guys, there's no rule that says you've got to stay on your mats. So you can put your hands off the mat if you want. And hovering your nose, lengthening the breastbone away from the heels of the feet, spreading your fingers out gently. And close your eyes and notice, how does this feel? Does it feel like it's too open? Does it feel like you're straining anything? Does it feel more comfortable and natural? Just observe. What did you prefer, the first one or this one? And then we're going to do one more modification. Start to bring your hands a little forward. So you could even take them wider again if you wanted to. So with your hands more forward, hover the tip of your nose, lengthening breastbone away from feet, spreading fingers out gently. Close your eyes and notice, how does this feel? Notice the positioning of your scapula on the back of your body. And now I would like you to choose the position that felt best for you. So bring yourself into the place that works for you. And you can open your eyes. Start by lifting your eye line slightly. And then as your head comes up, let your spine follow. So as your breastbone comes up, I want you to stay there. You should have your two bottom ribs on the ground in order for this to be thoracic back extension. If your ribs come up, it means you've gone into lumbar extension, okay? Keep bottom ribs down, heart lifted, and take a moment to feel that there has been a gliding of the scapula on the back of your body. Don't scrunch them together. Don't push them wide. Let them move. Take a breath in, and then slowly down you come, and hover the tip of your nose. And we go again. Lifting eye line. You start with cervical spine, and then the movement travels lower down to thoracic spine. Stop with the bottom ribs. Notice the glide on the back of your bodies, and then releasing yourself down. Now, let's try a specific breathing. Stay here for the breath in. As you breathe out, lifting up into your baby cobra. Stay for the breath in. And exhale, release it down. Let's repeat that one more time. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lifting up into baby cobra. Pause for a moment. Take a little breath. And exhale, releasing down. Let's try a variation. We're going to inhale to come up. Inhale, lifting into cobra. We're not going to stay. We exhale to float back down. 2 more. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, releasing down. 1 more time. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, releasing down. Just put one hand on top of the other, rest your head, and then just rock your pelvis from side to side. So it's quite interesting when you change the breathing as well, that it works for some people to breathe in one pattern and for other people in another pattern. My best connection is when I inhale to lift up. It almost just feels like I'm floating upwards, which feels good for me. Guys, turn onto your backs and just take a moment to hug your knees in towards your chest. You can rock your knees a little bit from side to side, and then maybe tuck your chin and then round your spine and just bring yourself into a tight little ball shape. Just a little bit of a release for that back extension we just did. And then take your head and shoulders down, and you can place your feet onto the ground, knees bent. So this is where we're going to need a little bit of a support underneath the head, either using a deflated overball or grab a cushion off your couch and put it underneath your head. Oh my goodness, that is so relaxing already, guys. So what we did on Tuesday was we created mobility through the cervical spine. So let's just practice that for a second as a little reminder. Put your hands down onto your lower abs, and that's just a nice tactile cue reminder to engage your transverse abdominis. Start by rolling your head back, so you're coming into cervical extension. And then roll your chin in, so you're coming into cervical flexion. And again, rolling your head gently back. Just notice how it feels on your spine. Rolling your chin in and just feeling that for a moment. Let's do one more time. Rolling back. And rolling your chin in. And then just allow yourself to settle in the center. So guys, for some of your clients, if they have really tight neck or back extensor muscles, that tucking of the chin is going to give them quite a strong stretch down their spine as well. So that might be the end of their range of movement. Don't force it. Now we're going to add the longus colli muscle. It's that deep neck muscle here. So start by rolling your head back like you did a second ago. And then roll your chin in and stay here just for a moment. You are not going to pick up your head. You are going to take the weight of your head off the ball or off the cushion, and then you're going to release the weight of your head down, and then roll your head back. Roll your chin in, and keep your eye line to your knees, and take the weight of your head off the ball. So you're not lifting your head up. You're just activating the deep neck muscles. Release, and then roll your head back. And we're just going to take 2 more. We don't need to go crazy with these. And exhale. Can you feel immediately that the TA connects, the pelvic floor? It's all part of your deep core line. Release your head, roll your head back, Roll your chin in. And just taking the weight of your head off the ball. Don't let those neck flexor muscles take over, the sternocleidomastoid. And then release and just let your head settle back. Close your eyes for a moment. If it feels better for you to remove the prop from underneath your head, then please feel free to do so. And then opening your eyes, blink gently. We're going to do our slow roll up. So I'm going to take the ball away. And you're going to bring your knees up to a tabletop position. Hands go behind the thighs. And we're going to be pouring body weight from the upper body down to the feet. Start to move your legs away, pouring your body weight towards your thighs. Just let your head come forward towards your legs. Your elbows are straight and you're pouring your body weight from your head down to your belly. And then continue pouring body weight into your feet and just allowing that gentle, soft, rolling action forward and bringing your head towards your knees. And let's practice that in reverse. Starting to pour body weight from the lower belly towards the back of the ribs. Let the elbows straighten. Letting your feet float slightly and pouring the body weight from your feet down to your pelvis. And then just allow yourself to settle back. So this is a really nice modification for rolling like a ball or for roll up for anyone that has serious neck issues. One more time. Bringing your thighs away, elbows are straight. Bringing head and shoulders forward. And just a soft rolling. And coming all the way forward. Roll up into a seated position. And then take your time as you come up into standing. So just as we started, we're going to let everything that we've done integrate into our bodies. So standing evenly on your feet, just allow your eyes to close or to soften your gaze. And consciously breathing, feeling each inhale and each exhale as it moves through your body. Taking a moment to feel your shoulders and your neck. How do they feel physically? How do they feel energetically? Bringing awareness to the back of your ribs as you inhale and exhale. Feeling that gentle ripple up into the scapula and into the shoulder joints. Bringing an awareness to the front of your ribs as you inhale and exhale. Noticing your collarbones and the connection to the shoulder joints at the front. And once again, taking a moment to have some gratitude and appreciation for everything that your shoulders, your body is able to do for you. When you're ready, open your eyes, blink gently, bring yourself back into your space. Give your hands a little bit of a shake. Nicely done, guys. Let me just, you guys might need to unmute yourselves. Did you feel okay with everything?
Yep, that was good.
Fantastic. So again, still very, very gentle. I mean, this is stuff that should be accessible to most people. Obviously, you know, people with serious trauma like whiplash, for example, this might be quite a thing, but it's very, very gentle. And it's just now moving away from pure mobilization to now activating and finding the connections to that thoracic movement as well. So then on Tuesday, session 3, we can take it up another notch again. We're going to do some push-ups. All right. So guys, any questions? All okay?
That's brilliant.
Okay. Fantastic. So now